Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have swatches for you from the brand Gracefull Nail Polish. So today I have their Charmed Again collection. This is the second collection that they have done that is based off of Charmed. So this releases July 6th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time in both the US and Australian sites. In the description box below I will link both those sites as well as their Instagram page, and I will link my Instagram page where you can see more swatches of everything in this collection. So I do have 8 polishes to share with you today, and let's go ahead and get started. So first we have Twice Blessed, and this is an oxblood red jelly, and it has tiny metallic red glitter as well as holographic micro glitter. This is a thermal polish, and when it is warm it goes to a much brighter red. So here's our first coat of Twice Bitten. This has a beautiful formula. There's no running or pooling or staining or anything like that. It is a little bit sheer here on this first coat, so I am going to go in for a second coat. But I do tend to do extra coats for thermals anyway, since I don't know how my nail line will look in the lighter state. You get a ton of glitter out with this also without having to do anything special to the bottle, and I didn't have any staining with this one either. So here is our second coat, and for both the cold and the warm states, this does cover completely in 2 coats. This one's going to dry pretty textured, so you will want 1, maybe 2 coats of a glossy top coat depending on which kind you use, and a peel off base coat because it is a little bit difficult to remove. So there is 2 coats. And here we have the cold state of the polish, the warm state, and a side-by-side of both. Up next we have Coop ID, and this is another red polish, but it is a much lighter red. It's got a gold shimmer and a holographic effect, a linear holographic, and then it also has micro flakies. So here is our first coat, and I realize now that this is not called Coop ID, it's called Coopid, like stupid, but Coopid, because I assume there's a character named Coop. This has a great formula as well, just a little bit sheer here on this first coat, but there's no running or pooling or staining, and the flakies in here come out by the handfuls. There's so many, and it goes on so smooth and evenly. It's absolutely a perfect formula. So here's our second coat, and this one does cover completely in 2 coats for me. If you wanted to, you could go in for a third coat to deepen the color a little bit, but my nail line was completely covered, so I did stop here at 2. It's going to dry dull and a little textured, so you will want a glossy top coat, but nothing in here was difficult to remove, so you shouldn't have to use a peel-off base coat or pure acetone. So there is 2 coats. Up next we have Ethereal Gold, and this is a bronzy rose gold metallic shade, and it has ultra chrome, chameleon flakies, and holographic micro glitter. Here's our first coat of Ethereal Glow. This one is pretty sheer here on this first coat, but it does have a really good formula. I thought this one could double as a topper, so I did try to put it over a black, but what ended up happening is that some of the polish didn't apply super evenly, so this one is definitely best worn on its own. It does cover completely in 2 coats for me though. Again, a great formula. Nothing in here is going to be difficult to remove. It's just going to dry slightly textured, so you will want a nice glossy top coat, but you don't have to worry about brush strokes even though it's a pretty metallic-y base. So there is 2 coats. Up next we have Little Brother, and this is a turquoise linear holographic. Here's our first coat of Little Brother. This covers really, really well here on this first coat. It is just a little bit, just the tiniest bit streaky on this first coat. If you're not super picky, this could easily be a 1 coater for you, but I am going to go ahead and go in for a second coat. This one is also pretty holographic, but you will want to wait for it to dry completely to see the extent of the hollow in here. This does cover completely in 2 coats. You'll want that glossy top coat because this one does dry a little bit dull, and it's also going to help that hollow stand out a little bit better. Nothing in here stained my nails, and nothing in here was difficult to remove, so you won't need a peel off base coat or acetone. So there is 2 coats. Up next we have Billie, Don't Be a Hero, and this is a light purple base with a rainbow of micro glitters, and it also has holographic micro glitter as well. This is also a thermal, so when it is in its warm state, it goes to this really pale, light purple, almost white shade. Here's our first coat of Billie Don't Be a Hero. This one had a beautiful formula. It's a little bit on the thicker side, but it's that thickness, again, that it just stays right where you put it, no running or pulling or anything like that. It also covers really well here on this first coat. I do find that with thermal polishes, they do tend to be on the sheerer side, but for this one, even transitioning to a white, it was completely opaque in 2 coats for me. You also get a ton of glitter out, but that glitter is going to dry textured, so you might want 2 coats of a glossy top coat, and it's also going to be a little bit difficult to remove, so if you think about it ahead of time, I would recommend a peel-off base coat. Otherwise, you're going to be scrubbing with pure acetone on this one. The thermal in this is extremely strong as well. I had no issues capturing hot and cold, so there is 2 coats. Here is our hot state, our cold state, and then a side by side. Up next we have Graham's Unicorn, and this is a purple multi-chrome. Its strongest shift is from this royal purple to a royal blue, but at extreme angles there you can see it also goes to like a pink to a gold to a green. Here's our first coat of Graham's Unicorn. This covers pretty well here on this first coat. It's just a little bit patchy, so I am going to go in for a second coat, but this has a beautiful formula that no running, pulling, anything like that. You also have the shimmer in here that stands out really, really beautifully against the base. And I had no staining here either. So here's our second coat, and this one does cover completely in 2 coats. Again, it dries down a little bit dull, so you will want a nice glossy top coat, but nothing in here is textured, so you don't have to worry about potentially having 2 coats of top coat. And there's nothing in here that's hard to remove or anything like that where you're going to need pure acetone or peel-off base coat. So there is 2 coats. Up next we have Katty Kit, and this is a beautiful deep chocolate brown linear hollow. Here's our first coat of Katty Kit. And this one also has a beautiful formula, 0 complaints there. It's just a little bit sheer here on this first coat, but it does overall cover really, really well. Again, nothing in here stained me or anything like that. And this one being on the metallic side of formulas, or I don't know that it would necessarily be metallic. I guess it could more so pass as a foil. I didn't have to worry about brush strokes or anything like that. This one also covers completely in 2 coats. It is going to dry down a little bit dull, so you will want a glossy top coat to finish that off if you don't like that finish. Nothing in here dried textured, nothing in here was hard to remove. Just overall really, really good. So there is 2 coats. And lastly for today we have Mortal Soul, and this is a silver linear hollow. It also has blue micro glitter and then a like black flaky. So here's our first coat of Mortal Soul. This one again had a beautiful formula, 0 complaints on the formulas across the board for this collection. And this one also covered really, really well. It surprised me. I assumed it would be one of those kind of holographic toppers with the added elements, but it is very opaque here on this first coat. I am going to go ahead and show you what a second coat looks like. And this does cover completely in 2 coats for me. You get a ton of flakies, a ton of this blue glitter without having to do anything special. It is going to dry pretty textured, so you will want 1 or 2 coats of a nice thick glitter-eating glossy top coat and pure acetone for removal because it does tend to stick to your nails. So there is 2 coats. So I had 2 standouts here. The first one being Twice Blessed. I love this thermal. It goes to this lighter red. I think both of them are absolutely beautiful. I think the glitters in here make it look so 3-dimensional and nice and squishy, and I think that's absolutely gorgeous. And the other one being Mortal Soul. Silver linear hollows are always a staple, and I think the addition of the blue micro glitter is very original, very beautiful. Everything in here had fantastic formulas, so these were my favorites just as far as colors go. And that is it. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of these polishes. Let me know if you plan on picking any of them up, and let me know what your favorite was. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe if you'd like to see more from me, and I will talk to you again next time.